Welcome to this flash tutorial titled Number Game Part 3. It's a follow-up to the tutorial Number Game Part 2, which I have opened now on my computer. And now what we have to do is we've put the numbers into the array in the order we want as they were drawn, and now we want to take those numbers out. So up here where my variables are, I'm going to put it right here after my new array here. Type, and it's a variable. It's called number, colon, number, N-U-M-B-E-R, capital N, equals 0, semicolon. This is actually going to be the number that, as we call it, so we can use it in somewhere else in our programs for whatever we're using it for. We can actually say that called number, and whatever it is, it's going to be that number. And we're going to need one more variable, so put another space here, or enter, type. It's a variable. It's called array element, colon, number, equals -1, semicolon. The array element is the order in which the numbers are in the array. They start by going into what's called element 0, then element 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and this is going to be those elements. Now let's use those. Come way down the bottom, way down the bottom, way down the bottom. After this trace where we're seeing the elements that are in the array, put a couple enters. Type all this code. // is just to say to the computer, this is just a note for me, don't you use it. And I'm writing number being put into the array. That's the number being put. That's the one we're called number. That's the one we just made. So that's the one we're going to be using if we're making a game or something. Equals my number array, that's the array. This is the square open bracket, which is the lowercase of the open curly bracket. So square open bracket, array element, that's the other variable we just made, close square bracket, which is the lowercase of the closed curly bracket, and then a semicolon. So this is what's going to keep track of what number we're calling. Okay, so we're going to trace that. Trace, open bracket, quotation, called space number space close quotation plus called number, this number. So we'll see that right here. Close bracket, semicolon. Now, this again, // this is the place in the array where the number is put, and it starts with 0. So we're going to go from 0 to 9. That's what we're going to call our spots. We're going to trace this. Trace, open bracket, quotation, element, space, quotation, plus the array element, and that's the element, the spot in the array where the numbers are going, close bracket, semicolon. Now if we tested it now, because that array element is -1, there's no -1, nothing would ever come out of the array. That this called number would never get anything. So now we got to make sure that the array element is incremented. So come down here. I'm in doing number 1. That's enter. Type. Array element plus semicolon. Plus means increment by 1. Add 1. So the first time we come through here or through any of these numbers and make a change, we're going to say increment to the next element. So the next number that's put goes to the next element. So the next number is put. So we need to put this, copy this in all the numbers. Paste it here. I won't bother turning this off because it's not very much to it. Paste it here and here. I'm almost half done already. Here paste it here, paste it here, and finally paste it here. And let's give this a little test. Control, test movie, test. I'm just going to click it a few times. There, and look at what we got. I called number 1, and number 1 went to element 0. I called number 6. So I have 1 and 6 in. 6 went to element 1. I called number 8. I now have 1, 6, 8. 8 went into element 2. The element 2 means this is the 0 position, this is the 1 position, this is the 2 position. I called a 5. 5 went in on element 3. 2 went in on element 4. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I got an 8. 8 didn't come in again because 8 was called up here already, so 8 doesn't appear twice. So, hope you got that. This would be a good time to save this. Save as part 3. Let's go back to the timeline. Lock this layer, or lock them all. Lock those 2 layers. Select this layer here. Come down here, insert a new layer. Call this test. T-E-S-T, capital B-T-N. I'm going to make a test button. Picking up my rectangle tool. I'm selecting begin black for my stroke. I'm picking a grayish color here for my inside. Hold my shift down. That'll make me a square. Selection tool, highlight it. Modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected. And I'm going to call it capital T-E-S-T, shift underscore MC. Copy it. Copy that name. And open the properties panel, movie clip, instance of, and paste in that instance name. Lock that layer, open the actions layer, come way down to the very bottom, put 2 or 3 enters, and type all this code. Test underscore MC, that's that button I just made, period. Add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L, turns blue. Open bracket, mouse event, capital M, capital E, period, click. That's very much the same as what's up here. See that? You can copy those if you wanted to bring them down, but it's just as easy to type them out sometimes. Click, C-L-I-C-K, all capitals, it's blue, comma. I'm calling this test element 1. Okay, just give it a name. Close bracket, semicolon. It's a function. Function turns purple. Test element 1, that's the name of the function. Open bracket, event, E-V-E-N-T, turns blue, small e, colon, mouse event. Copy and paste mouse event. Close bracket, colon, void. There's the open curly bracket for the function. And I got 3 ifs in here. If, open bracket, my number array, that's the array, open square bracket 1, close square bracket, equals 5, close bracket. This is testing to see if the contents of number 1, which is the second one because it starts at 0, if the contents of the second element is equal to 5. If it is, there's an open curly bracket, trace, open bracket, quotation, 10. Let's go back to here. I have 10 in here because I was doing something else. Let's put there even equals E-Q-U-A-L-S equals. So we're going to trace, open bracket, quotation equals, close quotation, close bracket, semicolon. There's a close curly bracket. Copy those 3 lines, paste them in. Change the equals to greater than equals, and change the written equals to greater than. Come down here, paste in it again. Change the equals to less than equals, and in here write less. So now let's test this out. Got a clicker, click, 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 click a bunch of times. Now, if I look at it, the element 0 is 6. The element 1, which is the one I'm testing, is a 1. So when I hit this, it should say less than. And it did, less. So let's do it again. I'll start it over. Test movie test. 1, 2. There's my second element has been called, which is element 1. And it has, this time, 10 into it. So when I click this one, it should say greater. Okay, just one simple use for that array. At this point, I have one more tutorial to do for this project. It's going to be Flash Tutorial Number Game Part 4. So make sure you save your FLA if you plan on doing it. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.